Alright, Israel. So what I've done here is I've pulled up a bunch of tabs, right? And we're going to go through this. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff we've been messaging about today, just getting it all collected into one video, one visual here so that we can talk through where we're at, where we're looking to be, and some of the things that have to happen in order to get there. First things first, we look at what's going on with your site. We'll look at what's going on with your GMB. We've got 5 reviews right now, which, it's not a lot, obviously, but it's fine because some of the other top guys that are out there, junk movers, like they have 39. It's not an insurmountable thing. And Mike's Junk Hauling, they only have 12, right? So nothing crazy with what's happening here on the review end. It's not even anywhere near the most important ranking factor. I've actually seen a junk removal site down in San Antonio that has almost 800 5-star reviews. Their GMB was ranked 10th. So, we want to focus on that in the sense of that we want to keep a 5-star service, 5-star rating, but we don't need to collect reviews. They're not this magical thing that's going to get you automatically to the top. The 3 main things that we do have to focus on, though, when we're talking about ranking a website, ranking a GMB, things like that, first one is going to be content. The number of words that appear not just on your site, but on your homepage. Because what you have to remember here is that Google doesn't rank websites, it ranks pages on websites. And typically, what happens most often is that the homepage is the one that has the most authoritative content, and that's the one that pops up. So when we're talking about what is ranking here on page 1, we're going to take a look at those results, right? So one good thing that we do have here is that when we're talking about organic rankings, which, just to be clear here, what that means when you hear me talking about GMB and organic, I don't know how much Mario has discussed, just want to be on the same page with you. Whenever you look something up and you have these listings right here, this is organic rankings. But when you look something up, I just typed in junk removal real quick for out here, you have your map pack, your GMB listings, right? And one of the things that you'll be seeing here in a little bit is how we can check out rankings here. The most important thing by far is going to be that you're ranking in the top 3. Because if you're not in the top 3, then whenever you look up junk removal, it doesn't, or anything that's location based, if you're not in the top 3, you don't appear in this listing. So that's the goal. So when we talk about ranking a website, there's going to be 2 main factors for organic rankings. The first one we just talked about is going to be content, right? And then the second one is going to be something called backlinks. Think of that almost like votes from other websites pointing to your site. The third ranking factor that has more to do with your GMB, your Google My Business, is something called citations. So this is going to be directory listings, different local areas where your business's name, address, and phone number appear. I'll get that into a little bit more in a minute. Don't want to do too much. First thing we're going to talk about, though, is the organic rankings and listings. So the thing that is listed number 1 for junk removal, we looked at, junk removal Salt Lake City, because we want to be as location specific as possible. There is some volume behind this search term. So it's Junk King, right? And Junk King ranks number 1 in a lot of areas. And it's not because it's this powerhouse national franchise, but because they do more with SEO right than a lot of other people. And how we were just talking about, the most important thing has to do with content, the words that are on the page and what they talk about. I mean, look at it. Look at all the stuff that they have listed. They're connected to all of these specific, each of these are different pages. We're talking about some very specific title tags with what they're doing, who these people are, some videos about their process, how it works, maps on there. This looks like actually some of the stuff that Mario attempted to copy here. They've got some blogs listed on the page. Not a huge fan of blogs, just to be clear, but it's more just we're talking about the content that's on here. And then they're linked to all of these pages on here. One of the other top ranked competitors out here is Pro Junk Dispatch. Again, we have another franchise that's out here. They do a lot of really good things in terms of the number of pages they have, the content that appears, but it's nice and broken up. It's not just a section of 1,000 words and then 1,000 words, and then we have junk removal heroes. And I'll be honest here, I've always hated junk removal heroes sites. I think they're really ugly, they're really clunky. More of that like 1,000 words thing here. They're beatable though. The second thing has to do with the backlinks, which we can actually check out. Again, that's the votes that are coming in here, and we'll show the data for the exact URL because we're looking at Salt Lake here, and they have 6 backlinks coming in. If we're going to look at ProJunk Dispatch, they have 1 on here. But again, one of the big things that they do have going for them is they have almost 1,700 words of content. And I bet you Junk Removal Heroes has at least 1,000 words on this page too. So only 1 backlink, nothing really important coming from it, and look, just under 1,000 words. I think they were on page 2, but what I'm getting at is that they're beatable. This is all in the realm of possibility here when it comes to getting past those guys. Now, I want to shift gears a little and talk a little bit more about the GMB, Google My Business here, because the thing that we're looking at here is your heat map, your rankings specifically for Alpine Junk Pros, right? So if we scroll down here and we take a look at this first 3, this isn't good. I don't sugarcoat stuff. These are really bad rankings right now, but it's fixable, right? But it's how I mentioned, you want to be ranked in the top 3. It's like golf. The lower the score, the better. And the way that these circles work, it'll show the top 20 results. But if it shows 20, like even all the way down here, it doesn't mean you're ranked 20th. It's 20th or above. So we're actually probably ranked much, much, much further back from where we're located. And this is for the term Salt Lake City junk removal. And then we have junk removal Salt Lake City. And then we just have plain old junk removal. So, then we go, okay, well, my GMB is not doing well. I'm not getting calls. Who is ranking well? What are they doing? We can look at that. If we take a look at down here, you'll see Mike's junk removal and hauling. He's actually doing very well. And then we have Salt Lake junk removal and junk movers. Those are really the 3 main guys. There's 1-800-GOT-JUNK, there's Junk King Salt Lake City. So these guys are doing something right where they're not ranked higher than Junk King organically, but their GMB is doing better. So if we take a look at Mike's here, they have a much, much, much better grid. So all we have to do then is just reverse engineer. What are they doing right? What is it that they're doing that something like Junk King isn't doing well? So taking a look at Mike's site here, one of the things that really caught my eye is that he doesn't have any backlinks going on here. There's nothing happening. We look at on site, we've only got 326 words. So let's see, organic listing wise, he's not going anywhere. He's not doing anything. And again, if we look at his reviews, he's only got 12 reviews. So what the heck's happening, right? One of the big things I can tell you about is that he's listed as a garbage collection service. That's something that I've seen that we have a lot of categories now. There's over 4,000 now for GMBs on Google. So picking the right main category is a big first proper step. So with yours, with Alpine Junk, we were listed as a waste management service and also a garbage collection service. So we'll actually just want to switch these. Actually, we'll want to get rid of this one and then just put garbage collection service. A lot of people think, oh, the more categories I have, the better. It actually just confuses Google. The more concise you can be, the better. The other thing that we've got going on too is that we have Alpine Junk Pros. The title, the naming of our GMB is incredibly important. See, Mike's got junk removal. He actually has that keyword in there. So we're going to want to try and find a way to switch things up. We can't just always go in to the GMB and change it. Sometimes Google allows it, sometimes they don't. We'll have to take some steps with that. We can talk about that later on though. But if we could figure out a way to work in junk removal and even possibly Salt Lake City, that would be insanely beneficial here. But getting back to, okay, what's Mike doing that we need to do? We don't have the number of words on Mike's page that Junk King has. We don't have the reviews that Junk King has. We don't have the branding that Junk King has. But Mike's got a better category. He's got a better name. And if I had to guess, he's probably got a decent amount of citations. So that's that directory listings that I was just telling you about a few minutes ago, right? That's going to be where his name, address, and phone number is listed online. And we've actually got a collection here with our team of over 1,400 places where you can be listing that information. So taking a look at, with Mike here, some of the citations that we've got listed, he's got 9. It's not a lot, but you've only got 2, which is more. Junk Movers has more citations than Mike does, but at the same time, he's got junk removal in his name. And neither you or Junk Movers has junk removal in the name. Hauling, I haven't seen to be that important, but the actual term removal is in there, something that we could get switched up to. And then also, too, he has the oldest site of the 3 of you guys, and that's also going to be a ranking factor. And time is something you can't fake, right? So game plan moving forward then, if we were to work together, Israel, would be the site has to get revamped. The whole layout has to change. It needs more content. It needs more depth to it. It needs to be linked together better. Like the book now button needs to actually go to at least the contact us form, if not a booking platform. There's some out there. I'm sure if you ask in the Facebook group, someone can recommend it. What I see a lot of guys use is called House Called Pro for their booking calendars. You need backlinks. You need votes to your site coming from other places online. And you need citations. You need to get these directory listings online. You need to clean up the GMB, be posting more often, things like that. 1,000 moving pieces that are all small but all important in different ways. So all told, we're looking at, I'd say realistically, a 4 to 6 month project here, like probably end of 2021. You could be up there. I feel like that's a realistic time frame. I'm not going to lie to you and say, hey, in a month we're going to fix everything. It's just going to be like that. That's not how SEO works. I know you were saying you don't know much, but you know enough and you've been doing this business long enough to know that none of this stuff is an overnight fix. It's just a full breakdown of everything we've talked about, what has to happen. So I hope this helps.